Good morning, Year 5. Today we are going to carry on using the La Luna video that we have used this week, and we are going to be writing instructions on how to catch a star. So we are going to be watching the next part of the video that shows us the little boy using some equipment to get a star from the sky. Okay, so that is what you are going to be writing about today. So I'm going to go through how to write instructions with you. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to have a look at this. We are going to look for the features. So this is your first task. I want you to do this as you watch the video, okay? So I want you to have a read of this here. I want you to pause the video, have a think which Year 5 standards you can see, and then we will go through them at the end, okay? So hopefully you've had a go at that now, so hopefully we can spot some of the Year 5 standards. So as you can see, we have got a comma for parentheses here. For a country of its size, Kenya sure packs a lot in. Okay, so it sure packs a lot in. For a country of its size tells us that it's a big country, doesn't it? It's giving us extra information. Again, I've got a dash for parentheses. So I've got picking just one is almost impossible. So it's telling me that it's hard to pick something. It's giving me that extra information. I can see I've got a coordinating conjunction. So remember, that's one of my fanboys. I've got hyphens, which is one of your spelling standards. You have got a comma for your fronted adverbial. For a once in a lifetime opportunity, you must select. So that is your fronted adverbial. Okay, and then you've got an expanded noun phrase down here, amazing adventure. Okay, and then in your instructions, you have also got some of your Year 5 standards. So you can see by using things like firstly and finally, you're using an adverb of time. You've got the present tense, okay? You've got adverbs, you've got commands. So we're going to learn about command or imperative verbs a bit later. So find your is a command. We've got a subordinating conjunction though, so that's the I saw a wabub conjunctions. So that's when we have a sentence with a main clause and a subordinate clause. And we've got a fronted adverbial here. We've got another subordinating conjunction. Okay. So as you can see, we have got lots of the Year 5 standards throughout our instructions for how to prepare for a Kenyan safari. So I just wanted to show you that to show you how we could get the Year 5 standards into our instructions. That's what I want you to do today. And it's also given us some top tips on what is included in instructions. So you can see in red here, it says statement exploring what can be achieved by following the instructions. So it's given us a title and it's given us an introduction which tells us if we follow these instructions, what will the outcome be? Okay. And then here for the actual instructions part, it's telling us it's in a sequence chronological step. So remember, chronological means in the order they need to be done or the order of which it happened. So it could be in time order. Okay. So we're going to break this down into 3 steps today. So you're going to have an introduction to write, your equipment list to write, and your instructions to write, all based on how to catch a star. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to watch the video, and if you watch this from the home learning page, try and start it from about 1 minute and 45 seconds so you're seeing the bit that you need to see. Okay, so now we've watched the video, I'm going to model task 1 for you. So this is the task 1 of your main tasks. So you are going to write an introduction to start with. So I'm going to give you a model of an introduction, but my model is going to be based on baking a cake. Okay, so I'm going to try and use my Year 5 standards in there, as well as telling my reader exactly what they need to know. So I'm going to start off with a complex sentence. For such a simple cake recipe, comma, the result is delicious. And I've got my CIOUS in there, which is a Year 5 spelling pattern. your mouth will water from the sweet smell being an expanded noun phrase, that will fill your house. I've got a relative clause in there. That will fill your house. As it bakes in the oven, becoming fluffy and moist. Okay. This easy bake cake can be adapted. Adapted means changed to suit the needs of any occasion. Then I'm going to use a colon because I want to list the occasions it could be used for. A birthday, Easter, or even just a Sunday afternoon snack. Okay, so you can see I've used a range of sentence structures. I've used a colon, which is one of the greater depth Year 5 standards, a colon with commas for a list, and I have used a relative clause and some of the Year 5 spelling patterns. So this is your first task, to write an introduction for your How to Catch a Star instructions, okay? So have a go at that, and then we will move on to your next task. Okay, your next task is to write an equipment list. So here you can see my equipment list for baking a cake. So you can see I've written the word equipment and I've put a semicolon, then I've listed with bullet points what I need to include, what I need to have to be able to complete this set of instructions. So I need flour, eggs, sugar, butter, a bowl, a baking tin and a wooden spoon. So you could go back and watch the video if you would like and make a list of the equipment that the character's using. So you could write equipment with your colon and bullet points. So I remember that in the video he used an anchor, some rope and a ladder, but there are a few other things as well. So I want you to go and create that equipment list, okay? And then we will move on to task 3. So for task 3, you need to use something called imperative verbs, which is something that is always included in instructions, and that's because they tell us exactly what to do, okay? They are often found at the beginning of sentences and they create a command. So a command is a sentence that tells you what to do, okay? So let's have a look at some examples. Eat your lunch, tidy the cloakroom, write today's date, walk home after school. So you can see that the words that are in purple are telling you to do something. They are a verb. Eat, tidy, write, walk, okay? They are all verbs, but because they've been used at the beginning of a sentence, they turn that sentence into a command, okay? So here we are going to find some of the imperative verbs that have been used throughout my model, okay? So number 1 says, heat the oven to 180 degrees, lightly grease an 18cm round cake tin with a little extra butter or margarine and cut a piece of greaseproof paper or non-stick baking parchment to fit the base of the tin. So in orange, I'm going to highlight my imperative verbs. So the verbs are telling me what to do. So heat, grease, cut. Okay. Okay. So you can see these are verbs that are telling me what to do. Let's look at number 2. Put all the ingredients into a large mixing bowl and beat with a wooden spoon or a handheld mixer for 1 minute, or until just combined. It's important not to beat the batter too much, just long enough to make it smooth. So my imperative verbs here are put and beat. Okay, so they tell the person following the instructions exactly what they need to do. Then we've got number 3. Pour or spoon the mixture into the tin, smooth the top and bake on the middle shelf of the oven for about 45 to 50 minutes. The cake is cooked when it looks well risen and golden. The top should spring back when lightly touched with a fingertip. Another test is to insert a skewer into the centre of the cake. It should come out clean. So in my first sentence, it's given me 2 imperative verbs, pour or spoon. So it's given me an option. So I could take the bowl and pour it in, or I could use a spoon to put it in a spoonful at a time. They are both imperative verbs. Then it tells me to smooth, then bake. So they tell me what I need to do. Okay. Now I want to show you the Year 5 standards that are in here, and I want to show you something that's being used that I think you could have a go at using today as well. So you can see that it has used a variety of sentence structures. So we've got and for a compound sentence, and we have got or, okay, and it uses a dash and another dash and a semicolon. So they are all different sentence structures, all of which are skills that we can use in our writing, okay? So the dashes are adding extra information. Remember when we learned about dashes at school, we learned that the dash puts emphasis on something. It's giving you the extra information, but it's making sure you know it's important. So just long enough to make it smooth. So if you beat it too much, it might make it go a little bit funny, possibly. So the people want you to know not to do it for too long, okay? And then down here as well, it's telling you to insert a skewer, but that it must come out clean. It should come out clean, otherwise it's not cooked. They've used that dash to give you that information to make sure your cake is perfect, okay? And it's also used a semicolon. And this is something that some of you occasionally use in your writing, but the rest of you could have a go if you'd like. So a semicolon links 2 ideas together, but 2 ideas that are both main clauses. They are both independent clauses. So you can see here that the cake is cooked when it looks well risen and golden is an independent clause. That's a sentence that makes sense on its own. The top should spring back when lightly touched with a fingertip. That's also a sentence that should make sense on its own. Okay, so we have linked those ideas with a semicolon, so they both have the same weight. One isn't more important than the other. Okay, so your task now is task 3. I would like you to re-watch the video, and if you wanted to, you could bullet point the steps you wish to include in your instructions. And then once you've done that, you are going to write your set of instructions on how to catch a star. Okay? Remember, you might need to use your imagination to help you because not everything was shown in the video, so you might need to add a few of your own steps in there. Mrs. Willis and I are looking forward to reading your instructions and how creative you can be. If you need any help with anything, please email us and we will get back to you as soon as we can.